La Nakamura, he is better than a bike. La Nakamura, he will win the cup tonight. Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you a game between Lenier Dominguez and Hikaru Nakamura, played at American Cup. Let's quickly jump into the game. E4, C5, Nakamura was black, and this was first surprise, C5. He normally plays E5 and goes for Berlin endgame or Berlin opening. Knight to F3, Knight C6. After this move Knight C6, there are many possibilities. For example, Bishop to B5 is so-called Rossolimo attack, but Lenier opted for D4, CD, Knight D4, E5, and this is so-called Kalashnikov. So difference between Kalashnikov and Sveshnikov is that Sveshnikov first starts with Knight to F6, and after Knight C3, now E5. So let's go with this Kalashnikov opening, E5, Knight to B5. Now this check is a threat, so black has to play D6, Knight 1 to C3. Also here possible is to play C4, more positional play, but Lenier opted for Knight 1 to C3, A6, chasing the knight away, Knight A3, and here again little surprise by Nakamura. He played move Bishop to E7, Bishop to E6. Normally he plays Bishop to E7, Knight C4, B5, and Knight to E3. Knight C3 was played by Lenier. Rook to B8 was quite a huge surprise. And this Nakamura said that this move was inspired by Maksudlu, Armenian Super Grandmaster, and probably the idea behind this move is to support this B5 break. Knight to D5, Bishop takes E5, Knight to E7, and here, funnily enough, computers suggest very nice move, G4. And the idea behind this move is after H6, we go with H4 for an attack on the king side. But of course, Lenier played G3. He didn't go for that option. B5. Knight to E3. And now G6 was played in this position. A4. Here Bishop to H6 would be a very nice move to keep pressure on this knight. Also black can exchange bishop if knight moves, but Nakamura opted for knight to F6, AB5, AB5, Bishop G2. Now Bishop H6 comes, castle, castle, Queen to D3, all normal developing opening moves. Knight D7, Bishop to D2, and here black can play F5, but Naka opted for move Knight to C5, attacking a queen, Queen to E2, Queen C7. Here interesting move was to play B4 and solidify this knight. So this knight can't be attacked that easy. Also pawn on B5, as we'll see in the game, was a little bit weaker. So let's go back. Queen to C7 and now B4. So now white plays move B4. Knight goes back, Rook A5. So he's pressuring this pawn. But now very nice move by Nakamura, taking the bishop, taking the knight here with the bishop and exchanging this strong bishop for this knight. He will get weak squares here, but anyway, this knight was also very powerful on e3 by controlling many squares, like on c4, and Nakamura will try to bring his knight to c4. Bishop takes e3, knight f5, rook a7. Probably better was just to take here, knight takes f and knight to b6, but Lanier opted for rook to a7, rook to b7, take, bishop d2, rook a8, queen to d3, rook a2, rook d1. Yes, nothing special is happening, just normal moves, maneuvering slowly by slowly. Each opponent is waiting, let's say, or has their own plans and waiting for opponent's mistake. Bishop g5. Now nice move, king to g7, protecting this knight on f6. Nice move by Lanier, bishop to h3, trying to exchange this nice knight. And now knight to d4. Here's nice line. If we play knight to e7, then bishop takes, king takes, and f4, queen to a7, king h1, and when we take, now actually this is, according to the computer, this is still a draw, but it's quite funny because black kings steps into very dangerous zone on g5, queen d2, king h6, queen takes, king to g7, takes, and now nice move, queen to e3. It's protecting this this knight, and black is totally fine in this position. But instead Naka opted for knight to d4. Now c3, kick the knight back, knight to c2, and now comes the first mistake by Lanier, queen to f3. Better would be to play rook to d2, and after rook to a1, rook d1, and repeat. Also here possible is to take, queen takes, knight a3, queen to c1, knight c4, check, king g8, queen here, and after queen to e7, this is equal position. But instead he blundered, but made a slight mistake with queen to f3. Now nice move, nice knight goes to g8. As you will see in the game many times, knight went to g8, bishop to f1, rook to a3. This was slightly an accuracy. Better was just to play knight to a3 with the idea to play knight to c4. But Nakamura, who's strong tactically player, goes for these kind of tricks to take here, and let's say if, for example, white would play h3, now we can take here, and if white takes, then he loses his queen. So that was his, maybe some part of idea of his. Bishop to c1, rook to b3, queen e4. But this was first mistake, because now black will take this pawn on c3, and after bishop to b2, nice move by Nakamura. First, not to moving rook away, let's say here to c8, because now we have this check, and if we take, this is actually a draw, and queen to b2. But instead, first to play knight to f6 to kick the queen away, intermediate move. And now important was that we should play queen to e2 here. But Lanier blundered and played queen to h4. And now rook to b3 was played. But better was actually to play rook to f3. And there, as you can see, was nice rook sacrifice on f2. Let's say, for example, if white plays bishop to e2, now we can sacrifice a whole rook here, and after king f2, queen a7 check, king g2. Now we have this knight check on e3, king f3, we take the full rook, bishop takes, and now very beautiful move, queen to g1. And as you can see, this king is short of squares, and after bishop to 2 we can check on e4, king f4, queen here, bishop to f3, and queen to f3 would be a checkmate. Very nice line. Also after rook to f3, if white plays rook to d2, then we can play rook to e5, and if white takes, we have this nice move, rook to h5, and the white's queen is trapped here. So in the game it happened bishop to c1, and again, as you can see, knight went to g8, queen to d8, queen e7, queen a5, knight d4, bishop to e3, knight f3 check, king g2, queen to f6, bishop to e2, and now nice move e4. And here the best move was queen to a1, but Lenier took the pawn here on b5. Let me just show you that line with queen to a4, g5, queen takes, knight takes, bishop f3, ef check, king takes, king to g6, h3, h5, rook d4, knight d7, king e2, and knight to e5. But instead, Lenier took the pawn on b5, queen to b2, and here in this position there was nice move to take the bishop here, and if we take, knight to h6 is very strong because there will be these annoying knights towards the king, knight g4, take, take, bishop take, check, king to f2, queen d4, queen enters the game, and after king to e2, let's just say knight to c4, and queen and knight are working beautifully together. So queen to a6 was playing the game, and the best move here was, the best defensive move for white was to play bishop to f4, knight e5, and white would still be in the game. But instead he opted to queen to a6, knight f6, h3, h5, king to f1, queen e5, nice move. And now Lenier blundered with king to g2. And again, in this position, queen to a1 would be the best, and after queen to f5, white is still in the game, but after king to g2, Nakamura found beautiful move. Now he didn't miss it. Rook takes e3, f, e3, and h4. So now this check is really annoying. So let's say if we take on f3, then this is a check, king f1, we take here and rook d2, and this is actually soon will be game over. So after this move he took h4, g h4, but now after queen to h2, Lenier resigned. The game would easily be soon over, like king f1, and queen to g1 would be a checkmate. So very beautiful game by Nakamura. He's playing final today against Wesley So. This was a very complicated game, as you can see, but was also very interesting. And guys, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and hopefully see you soon in the next video. Goodbye.